welcome back to Let's Play with Sergeant Preston. As you can see, we are in a zombie dungeon. We're going to convert this spawner. Well, we're not going to convert the spawner at all. We're going to make an iron farm, an ultimate iron farm that was done by Prowl 8413. I'll put a link in the description of his tutorial. This is a great farm. We'll have a trader hall. As you can see, this is what it looks like when we get finished. I have plenty of librarians, and each one of them will give me a reduction because of the zombie spawner. So I hope you enjoy this episode as we make it, and please subscribe and like. And any comments you want to make, please put them in there. Thank you for watching, and let's get on with the video. So here we are at our spawner, and we're going to dig down 12 blocks, dig across 13 blocks all the way around, and make sure there's 3 blocks above the spawner. And here is our finished area. We've got, I put deep slate, polished deep slate all around, and it looks pretty good. It's 13 across, 12 down, and 3 up. Alright, so I made some steps going up. This is where we're going to bring down our villagers. I'll eventually put a rail system down here. This is all going to be temporary. I'll fill it all up. And here's what we found. We got 40 diamonds, iron, copper, gold, redstone, lapis, and some... Okay, so now we're going to work on our spawner area. We're going to put some temporary blocks. I'm going to use dirt as a temporary block, and then I'm going to put a magna block. The magna block is going to be where we're going to have 9 altogether eventually. And this will be our killing chamber. The magnet blocks will kill the zombies which drop, and also the iron golems. Now, they won't kill the iron golems fast, but with the help of the zombies, they'll be killed. And because we're using 40 villagers, we'll get 3 iron golems, and hopefully it will produce enough. It's not a great farm for production, but it is a good farm for reducing villager trades. Okay, so I put 2 hoppers up here. The first one we're going to remove, and we're going to put a minecart. The minecart will take all the drops from the iron golems and the villagers, the zombies, and then it'll push it through the hopper. The hopper will go into a collection system, which we'll build later on during this video. Before I go any farther, I'm going to put some dirt around the hopper. Okay. This dirt is going to be for the first 4 beds. And I'm going to put the four beds in, and the 4 beds will keep the minecart in position while I work on the killing chamber and the water, and which is going to be above. All right, so we got our little... Let's go ahead and put our magna blocks up there. Like I said, we're going to use 9 altogether. I think I miscounted 1, but we'll take it off. Yep. So this is the actual killing chamber. And when the water flows, it'll flow down in here, and it'll take care of it. It's not the fastest method. Alright, let's go ahead and put our first 4 beds in. Like I said, this is going to hold the minecart in position while I work on the water system and the kiln chamber. Okay, so now we're going to work on our water platform. The platform is going to be 8 by 8. So we're going to put 7 blocks plus our magna block, which is 8. And we're going to put 8 all the way around, and then we're going to fill it in. So it'll be an 8 by 8, which is a 17 by 17 when it gets all filled in. You got to make sure you count it right, because if you count it either wrong, the water won't flow correctly, and then you have to start all over again. Yeah, I made that mistake because I didn't count it right. Okay, now we're going to take this 17 by 17 platform and raise it up, and we're going to extend it all the way out to the exterior wall. And then we're going to fill it in all the way around. This will make our water flow nicely right into the center. Okay, so we need to also put in some blocks in the corner. This will make it so there is no standing water or a water source. All the water needs to flow into the center. And if you don't have these corner blocks, you will have some water sources in the corner, and if zombies happen to go in there, they'll be stuck, and we don't want that. I don't know about the iron golems being stuck there, but this is again preventing things from happening. I'm going to go ahead and remove majority of the torches. I find that because I am using a controller, I find it hard to remove the torches once the water is flowing. It's kind of like being in a high riverbed and the water's flowing really fast, or at least I feel that way when I'm using a controller. So that's why I'm removing all majority of the torches before we put in our water. Now we only have a few left, and it is super dark in there, that's how we want it. Okay, you'll notice I have placed some sand in here. This sand is just a barrier for the water. And what we'll do is, once I got all the water in, I'll remove the sand and the water will flow nicely down into the center. Last torch I want to remove before I put the water in, though, is the torch right above the zombie. We put that in so the zombies wouldn't spawn. Now, you probably noticed that I am building this in peaceful. As I indicated in the very first episode, I'm going to work in normal unless I'm building something, and then I'm going to build in peaceful and go back to normal once it's built. I find this is the better way for me to do it, but and that's only because I'm still new and I haven't yet built things while normal. In fact, I don't like people bother me when I'm building things in the real world. So you can see we've removed our sand and our water is flowing really nice. So let's remove these final torches. I can feel the pool of the water, and you can probably see I'm being dragged towards the center. So that's why I removed the torches beforehand. You see, I'm fighting to get up there. It's not a bad fight, but still, it's an irritating fight. We'll just close this and we'll go work on the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to finish up with our beds. We're going to put 40 beds up here. And what we've done is we've taken the dirt as our temporary block and we placed it around. We're going to use a total of 80 dirt for 40 beds. 2 dirt for 4 beds per bed. So I did not design this farm. Prow 8413 did it, and I will put a link at the bottom, of course. And he made all the measurements correct, and it looks. I've used this iron farm before, and I've used the plain iron farm, which he also has a tutorial for. Not the one with the zombie. He's also created a newer one just recently, but I haven't looked at that one, so I couldn't tell you about it. But check out his tutorials. I use a lot of his and other people's. I'm using this one because I definitely like how the zombie, the villager trade reduction is, and it was really neat without having to cure zombies. Villagers, villagers. So, it's probably not smart that I'm using a diamond shovel because I could break the bed, but I thought it might be a little faster to use my shovel, and I only have diamond shovels right now, diamond tools. So I'm going to try to be as careful as I can because now we're just removing our temporary blocks. And you can see I knocked out a bed already. We should be able to fix that. And I knocked out another one. Let's go ahead and put these beds back in and we'll continue to move the dirt. And notice I'm no longer using my shovel. Alright, just like in Prowl's tutorial, we're going to close up our bed chamber, and what we're going to do is we're just going to put a wall all the way around our beds, all the way to the floor of this little village trader. This will be our collection area, room, whatever you want to call it, and we'll make a simple collection right now. Later on, maybe I'll put a sorter in there. For this episode, we're just going to put one chest, just so we know that things flow nice and evenly in there. I don't expect to get a lot right now, so I'm not going to make a lot of chests for something I'm not going to use a lot of just yet. But as we start playing, we'll get a lot, and hopefully it'll work out. I found that this polished deep slate is a good source because first of all, it's all the deep slate we got from digging out. I just used the stone cutter to make the polished deep slate. And eventually, though, we're going to use some white concrete. The white concrete will brighten up the room a little bit and change the contrast a little bit. I'm not a fancy designer or anything, but I know white brightens up things, so I like to use white when I can. And since we're using a darker deep slate, which is kind of bright, but it's not bright enough, we use the white concrete to make it a little brighter. And this will be our collection room, chamber, whatever you want to call it. If you noticed, I didn't use a lot of time lapse in this video because I broke it up in little sections. Didn't need to show everybody me digging all the way down and building this big chamber down. So I didn't think that would be interesting to watch, so I didn't do time lapse on it. Okay, now we're going to do the corners. The corners are actually going to be 3 by 3, but what I'm doing is I'm going to put some of my extra material in the center, and we'll use the white concrete to put on the outside to make it the 3 by 3. I could have just did concrete all the way around, but it seems like it does it better if I just do it here. Plus, I don't need to have this extra material hanging around. It's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and get ready to put in our white concrete. Okay, I've already made up my concrete. If you know, concrete is made with gravel and sand and a dye. Since I'm using bone meal to make white concrete, but you can use any color and make different color concretes. Now what happens is when you first take the sand and the gravel and the dye, it makes a concrete powder, and it falls like sand and gravel. So what you need to do is you need to put it in running water or flowing water. When I first started doing this, I just dropped it in the lake and it didn't do anything. So I had to figure out what was wrong, and it was that I needed to have the water flow over it or flow near it. So it couldn't be a water source, but it worked out. I did pretty good. So as you can see, I've surrounded my corners, and now we're making little chambers for our villagers. We're gonna have 5 villagers on one side and 5 villagers on the other. We'll have 10 villagers on the wall, on each wall, and there'll be a center for opening for maybe we get out or in or whatever. And I did make a faster way to get in and out, because we will be closing up the stairs because it was just temporary for the villagers. You can see the concrete is pretty bright, but when I put a torch on it, you will see it gets even brighter. Pretty nice concrete. I use concrete also on the barn or the stable, and I liked it there. Again, that was I used the red concrete and white concrete on the barn. It looks pretty good so far. It is kind of dark in here, but we'll light it up in a minute once we get all the walls in here and make sure We got enough concrete to do everything. Now, the prow caused these the trader stalls, not cells, but you know what? They are cells. The villager, once you get them in there and lock them in, they're not going to move. It's like a cell, but we're going to call them stalls, just like Mr. Prow does. Our last one. There we go. Now let's go ahead and put some torches on it. And see how bright it got? Very nice, very nice. I'm going to put torches, I'm going to try to space them out nice and evenly. Yeah, it definitely got brighter with the concrete. This is our stairs going up, and we got to put a center one here. Get our torch. And we got another center one here. Back on this side here, later on you'll see I made an opening to go up and down. Alright. Time for villagers. Hello, look, I've got villagers back there. Now, I did already get my swamp villagers and the jungle villagers. I didn't record the creating the little village, but maybe later on I'll do a special episode. And so this is how I brought my villagers to the mine or iron farm, as I collected them on boats. I have four boats as you can see now, but they're I can put 2 villagers on one boat and just send it on, or maybe there's 4 villagers and 2 boats. Forget how it was. Anyway, this is how I did. I want to show you how I did it. So it was pretty easy, but time consuming. As you can see, I'm paddling along, and I guess if I made portals in every area, I could probably push them through, but I find that the boat is just the easiest way to do it, and I can just attach a lead to a boat and drag it on, and it works out pretty good. So as you can see, I went all the way back. These, I believe, is my Savannah villagers. I did get each villager from each biome. At least I tried to. And then we went into a little inlet here in our village. This is where our steps came out to, and it worked out pretty good. And all we have to do is drag them up. Here's my real system, and as you see, I've already brought up a couple villagers. These are my jungle villagers, I believe. Here's how I did it. Now, if you're pulling a villager on a boat, you actually don't need water. You just have to be careful as you're going up, and they will go up the hills if you're dragging them with your lead. But I found if you use water, your lead doesn't break as often, and you can pull them a little faster than you would if you were just dragging them without the water. I found the water works a lot better than just anything. So, and I dragged them all the way up here. I could have done 2 at a time, which probably would have been a lot faster, but I decided to bring 5 boats at a time, 10 villagers, and which, as you can probably imagine, it did work, but it was a mess. But I decided, hey, let's do it anyway. I have a chest right up there for the boats, and there is I already have the mine carts on me. So what we do is we take them out of the boats. Hopefully we don't kill them, and then we will put mine cart, 1 villager per mine cart. Not like a boat. Boat can hold 2 villagers, but a mine cart can only hold 1. So I decided, hey, let's just do it this way. So we put the mine cart down on the rail and just push it, and a villager will pop in there, just like that. Because there's a lot of villagers, the mine cart came back to me. It didn't move quite fast. So, okay. So hindsight, didn't do very smart on this one. If I do this again, it will be just 2 villagers at a time instead of 10. But as you see, I'm having a heck of a time. So I will eventually just push a couple of these out, and then we'll have less. There we go. Let's get get these out and down. It took me a minute to get these in here, to get them moving. All right, and you can push the mine cart back on the rail and it'll go, but it went the wrong way. So let's go the other way. I have a power rail there to give them a little push, but if villagers or anything else is in the way, they won't go. Now, if you notice, I have that block of sand. The villagers will not walk through the sand, but if they're in a cart, they can go right through it. If the cart stops in the middle of the sand, they will die. But I try to make it so they wouldn't stop. They just go right through it. Only a couple more left. We got 3 left. Then I'll take you down and we'll show you what it looks like down at the bottom. I've got some hoppers, and I actually got a cactus down there. I'll show you when we get down there. 2 more. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go. Really having a fun time. All right. Now I can't go through that sand, so I have to break it out. And I made some bamboo steps so that I can come up and down faster. I can use the bamboo steps as fuel to smoke other things, but because bamboo is so abundant now, I don't feel I'm wasting anything, and I can use the steps as fuel. You notice it is a long way down. And I prevented the other villagers from coming through. As you see, they made babies, and which is good. The minecart hits the cactus and then drops into the hoppers, and I can collect it later. And now I have all the villagers down, and I gave them all profession blocks. We have a lot of the librarians to give us books, and I get a lot of different items. So, and then I brought my mending thing here, and look, we already got reduction there. You can see it dropped, and that was a good thing, and that's what it's all about, just making it right. And this is the simple collection system I got. As you see, we have some stuff already. It could get bigger, maybe not.